Hi, this is Sean,
Hi, this is Isaac.
and this channel's called Wolf Dog Moon. And today, on our wrestling series versus, we're using these just as like we did on our previous episodes. We're using these Mattel action figures, kind of discuss some wrestling topics in terms of these two wrestling characters duking it out in their prime. And so I don't think The Rock and Sting ever fought, but we're going to kind of discuss how we would book the match and who would eventually prevail. So if you like this kind of content, smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel for more. And ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss out more of stuff like this. Comment down below, let us know what you think, and share with your friends. Alright, let's get into this. So now, just to give you a brief overview of these two characters, you have The Rock on the left, who is another third generation wrestler. His father and his grandfather were in the wrestling business for a long time. And he's also somebody who, I think in Florida, he was a big football player. He ended up playing for a little bit in the Canadian Football League. And then we know him from the Attitude Era. And now he's Dwayne Johnson, the Hollyweird actor. So, and I call it Hollyweird because it's where the weirdos are. So, and then we have Sting. And he is from primarily the WCW. But he's been in TNA, NWA. He's been all over, a bunch of different promotions, and he's a wrestler through and through, and he's been in the business. He's still doing wrestling stuff, I think, with AEW. So he is usually a counterpoint in terms of the way he approaches the business to whatever WWE, WWF is doing. So Sting's usually in the other promotion. So we're going to talk about how I would book this match and the outcome and stuff. So, and I got Isaac over here. He can chime in whenever he wants, how he thinks this would go. So now we're going to look at this from the standpoint of these guys in their prime. So we do have the Sting Pro. So if you think that was his prime, or if you want the more colorful Sting, either way, we're just going to go with the Sting persona and against The Rock. So you got Rock here. Now, the way I would book this match is The Rock's a heel. And I think even when he became a face, he was super over and stuff. He still was a heel. The way his arrogance and his cockiness and his swagger got over, and the crowd was with him and stuff, because of the bombastic attitude he had and the raising the eyebrows and stuff. So he's considered like at one of the WrestleManias, Hulk Hogan came out, then The Rock came out, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So a lot of people hold those three guys as their best guys ever, or most, their biggest stars or whatever. But we're not going to look at it from the standpoint of that as the stars, but from a promotion standpoint. Now, I think you would have this match. The Rock has the title, and he's a heel. And Sting is chasing him, and this is the culmination match right here. And Sting goes over. And what you would have Sting do is The Rock gets put in the Scorpion Death Lock and taps out. And the referee taps him out. And I don't think you would do like, okay, Rock falls unconscious, like I said in the previous, if you've seen our John Cena versus Bret the Hitman Hart, where you could protect Cena by having him pass out. I don't think you need to do that with The Rock. The Rock is a heel, but he's over in a sense that he doesn't need that kind of protection. And you're just selling the Sting Deathlock as being so devastating that everybody that gets put in that gets the pain and can't take it. So he taps out to that at the end of the match. And maybe there's some little bit of shenanigans that go on but for the most part, it's a pretty clean fight. The Rock does his finishing move, and I would have Sting, he sells it. He just gets up like he always did. I'd put him in the category of like the Ultimate Warrior, where he is almost supernatural in the sense that he can call on energy and the spirit of his, like, you know, for Ultimate Warrior was his ancestors or these other spirit, you know, he's calling on the fans and stuff. So the face can always use the crowd to give him that little bit of extra willpower to get the finish and get the victory. So in that sense, I think Sting, he gets up, and this matchup could have been, I don't think they ever did this matchup, did they?
No, because I think the Triple H and Seth Rollins fights were the only things Sting did in the WWE.
Well, I think they did have an invasion when McMahon bought WCW. They had, like, I remember it being a bad thing where The Rock, he acted like, I forget, he collided with one of the, like, it was like Booker T or something, or one of the wrestlers that was a big time wrestler from the WCW, right? Yeah. And he did something inappropriate. He said something like, "Who are you?" because the guy was a WCW guy. So they acted like these guys, they came from a pocket dimension of time and space where nobody knew who they were, and so now we got to figure out who they are. From a WWF standpoint, they could make that make sense because of the way they acted, like the other promotions didn't exist. But from a logic standpoint, it didn't make sense. It was too silly and childish. And I think, you know, that would be one The Rock would want to have back. It made them look cartoonish and kooky too much, and where it could have been a much more devastating thing.
Well, I think Sting was one of the guys that didn't bother going.
Well, he didn't bother going because he knew that was going to happen. And there are interviews where he says that. But all that aside, if you look at the standpoint from these two people, now we know that The Rock, he goes on to be this big time Hollywood actor, and so, but you can't look at that as like, you still wouldn't want him for your promotion. He's not going to be there every week. He's moved on, and so if your argument would be that, oh, he becomes a bigger star, that's outside of the wrestling business. So you have to throw that all out. And you can have him come back from time to time, but as you can see, it's like, okay, they probably put it in his contract now where after he fought Cena and stuff and he got hurt, it's like they can't take the risk if he's scheduled to do some movie and they can't afford to have him not be able to be in the movie after he signed the contract. So he's probably in his contract now, he can't be in the wrestling matches, which is a shame. But at the same time, even that aside, these two, if they fought, Sting would go over. So you'd have him win pretty clean too. You would have him win clean, and then maybe if you have them shake hands at the end. If The Rock is not a heel, if he's a face, you know, they hug it out, they shake hands, but Sting's the victor. So let us know down in the comments what you think. You know, these two guys are never going to fight, and they're from different eras, but it's just kind of cool to discuss something like this. And if you want to get in on the conversation, just do it in the comments down below. Try to be friendly about it, and we can have a cool discussion. But in the meantime, we hope this video finds you having an amazing day, and we hope that you have a blessed day. Signing out.